Stolen money, silent systems, how Minnesota fraud found a home in Kenyan real estate. Part 1. Let's stop pretending this is complicated. Money stolen from American taxpayers did not disappear into thin air. It didn't evaporate. It didn't get lost. It turned into concrete, tiles, elevators, title deeds, luxury apartments, beachfront villas. It became part of Kenya's landscape. And it did so quietly, deliberately, without anyone daring to ask the hard questions. Minnesota, where it all began. In Minnesota, billions meant to feed children, support struggling families, and maintain social safety nets were stolen in plain sight. Fake organizations, fake reports, fake beneficiaries. The fraud was audacious. It wasn't some small-time scam. It was a coordinated theft of massive proportions. Imagine billions allocated for school lunches vanishing overnight. Imagine families depending on assistance being told to wait while bureaucrats look the other way. Imagine a state designed to protect its vulnerable being used as a playground for thieves. Auditors ignored red flags, officials buried warnings in paperwork. Compliance officers nodded along while checks were falsified, and when U.S. authorities eventually moved, it was too late to contain the damage entirely. The money had already taken flight. The path of stolen money. This is where it gets worse. The money didn't stay in Minnesota. It didn't hide under mattresses. It didn't vanish into local investments. It moved. It traveled. It passed through layers of laundering that would make any seasoned financial criminal proud. Layer 1. Shell companies. In Europe, the Middle East, and other jurisdictions with lax regulations, shell companies were created. Corporations on paper, empty in reality. Names changed, ownership obfuscated, addresses that were nothing more than mailboxes. These shells allowed the fraudsters to disguise billions as legitimate business activity. Layer 2. International banking networks. From the shell companies, funds flowed into accounts across multiple countries. Transfers were coded as consulting fees, business expenses, investment capital. Banks received billions in transactions, looked the other way, and collected fees. Layer 3. Fake invoices and business transactions. Invoices were created for services that never existed. Contracts were signed by intermediaries nobody had ever met. Every move was deliberate, every document forged to maintain the illusion of legitimacy. Finally, the funds arrived in Kenyan real estate. Finally, the funds arrived in Kenya. The money, once illicit, was now positioned as legitimate investment capital. Villas, apartments, commercial buildings, land in border towns, titles registered under intermediaries. Money that should have fed children and families in Minnesota was now turning into property that screamed respectability. Why Kenya? Convenience, not coincidence. Kenya was not chosen by accident. It was chosen for convenience. Weak regulatory oversight. Cash-heavy deals that rarely trigger alarms. Symbolic source of funds checks that exist only on paper. Professionals who should ask questions. Lawyers, brokers, real estate agents, banks turn a blind eye. And let's be honest, everyone profited. Lawyers collected their fees. Brokers took commissions. Banks earned transaction fees. Everyone got paid. Few asked questions. This is not ignorance. This is complicity disguised as convenience. The silence of institutions. Silence is not neutrality. Silence is participation. While millions in stolen funds flowed into Kenya, professionals and regulators kept their mouths shut. Why? Because asking the hard questions is inconvenient. Because enforcing compliance cuts into profits. Because it's easier to collect your fees and ignore the origin of the money. Let's be clear. This is not about diaspora success. It is not about honest remittances. It is not about people sending money home to build their families' futures. This is about a small group of individuals exploiting systemic weakness in two countries simultaneously. And the system protected them. The mechanics of the money washing. Once the money arrived in Kenya, it didn't just sit idle. It was washed, legitimized, made respectable. Step 1. Property acquisition. Luxury apartments in Nairobi. Beachfront villas in Mombasa and Diani. Land in Mandera and Garissa. Step 2. Paperwork and legitimacy. Titles registered under intermediaries. Shell companies used to disguise true ownership. Source of funds declarations signed, rarely verified. Step 3. Appearance of legitimacy. Once a villa is built or a commercial property constructed, it no longer looks like stolen money. It gains social status. It gains respectability. It gains a facade of legitimacy, and no one asks, "How did you afford this?" They ask, "How many units are left?" This is how billions of stolen dollars transform into untouchable assets, not through magic, through deliberate, calculated manipulation. Consequences for ordinary people. This isn't victimless. Far from it. Property prices rise artificially. Genuine buyers get pushed out. Rent skyrockets. Developers chase quick cash, not housing needs. Ordinary Kenyans are forced to pay the price, and honest diaspora investors, they suffer too. Their legitimate transfers get flagged. Their reputations questioned. They wait, delayed, punished for crimes they didn't commit. Meanwhile, the fraudsters, already gone. Villas built, offices flipped, money gone. Kenyan real estate hotspots, not random, not coincidental. Luxury apartments in Nairobi's Westlands, Kilimani, Upper Hill. Beachfront villas in Diani, Mombasa, Malindi. Borderland plots in Mandera, Garissa, and surrounding towns. All purchased quietly, all funded with stolen money, all legitimized by a system that refused to ask questions. The bigger picture. This is not just about money. It's about morality. It's about integrity. When regulators, professionals, and institutions look the other way, they stop being neutral. They become enablers. They profit from silence. They benefit from crime. And while they collect their fees, communities are destabilized. Markets are distorted. Ordinary people pay the price. Global attention. Now the world is watching. U.S. authorities are tracing the stolen funds. Assets are being identified. Kenya is under scrutiny. This will not be polite. There will be seizures. There will be court cases. There will be embarrassment. And Kenya will face a choice. Protect the integrity of its financial system, or protect those who brought suspicious money with a smile. You cannot do both. A warning to all. To regulators who sleep, to professionals who look away, to investors who think borders make money invisible. Dirty money always leaves a trail. It shows up as buildings. It shows up as inflated rents. It shows up as distorted markets. And when it is finally traced, the evidence will not lie. Buildings do not hide guilt. They expose it.